Hello there, how are you doing? So we've got some shadowboxing tips today. In this series of videos, I'm going to be watching your training and giving you tips based on as if you were a student of mine. Today we've got a video and it's from Nitin Sharma and he wants advice on how to improve his shadowboxing. So let's take a look. Here we go. Okay, I like the background as well. Okay, so you got a nice snap on your techniques, that's all right. Looks like you're pushing your punches a bit instead of, snapping them, but turn them in as well, turn your knuckles. Okay, good turn through on the roundhouse there. See what I mean, like getting a bit open-handed, flicky on the punches, and get a bit too loose, don't they? Yeah, good difference between chambered roundhouse and following through. So the difference between sort of karate, Chinese styles of kicking as well, and Muay Thai. Yeah, good re-chamber, good balance. You can see you pivoting through on the kick as well. Good flexibility. Just keep sort of stopping, don't you? You just keep stopping. Try not to stop. Always be active. If you feel like you're stopping, start putting defensive movements in. Block, move your head. Good rotation on the turning kicks, but it just looks a bit off balance. That was a bit better. Yeah, it seems to be when you go a bit too fast. Maybe work on hooking the kick at the end. Boom, pull that through and keep your balance as you do it. Because you've got balance, I can see that. You can see you moving about. Sometimes just a bit rigid. Okay, so we're flowing here, moving, striking. That's good. See the open hands again. It can happen when you're striking in the air. Just be aware of your fingers. Be aware of your hand position. Pop, pop. You're confident throwing those. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, nice, nice. Getting the combos going with your hands. I like it. And, you're light on your feet moving around. There we go. So instead of just standing still, more of that. Be evasive with your footwork and your head movement as well. So being a bit too relaxed with the hands when you're kicking. Two schools of thought really. You can either keep both hands up high or pull on the kicking side. It's okay to pull your hand on the kicking side because your leg's in the way. If you do the technique right, you're not just dropping your hand to be hit. You've got another limb in the way of your opponent. See, that was okay. One hand up, one hand down, pulling on the kicking side. Yeah, pop, pop, pop. Just playing around there. Yeah, same again. See, good drills like that, can be fun, a little bit challenging. They will improve your kicking ability. It doesn't always belong in a shadowboxing drill. All right, buddy, not bad. And you can't go wrong videoing yourself, can you guys? If you video yourself, the camera doesn't lie. It's the most honest training tool there is. So I got a few points for you that are going to really help. People get hung up on the technique and they'll try and pull apart every punch and every kick. I don't worry about that too much with people because technique like that corrects itself over time, especially if you're watching yourself on video. So let's take some practical advice. Work with some timed rounds. Do 2-minute rounds or 3-minute rounds based on your goals. You can do maybe even like high intensity interval training, HIIT. I do a lot of HIIT train along videos. Do some of them in shadowboxing where you do short rounds of active work with really short rounds of rest so you improve your recovery. So maybe 2-minute rounds, 1-minute rest, 3-minute rounds, 1-minute rest, see how many rounds you can do. But because it's a numbered round, you're measuring it and you can see how you're improving over time. It's not just random, And one thing you want to do when you're sparring, don't just throw your techniques out. That can lead to, when I said you were pushing rather than punching, I bet if you were hitting a bag or a pad, you would make a stronger hand position and you would have more intent in your shots because you can picture what you're hitting. It's solid, it's in front of you. With shadowboxing, you have to get around that by using your mental strength. Visualize what's happening. Picture somebody moving about or just picture somebody in a stance, in a position, and put your strikes on them. Don't just push. In the second half of the clip, when you're putting your boxing combos together, it looked a lot more active, so maybe you were doing that. It's a good tip for everybody. Visualize attacks coming at you and dodge them or defend them, but picture it going right. That's really important. Don't just randomly picture something. Picture your attacks working, picture them being successful, picture your defense being successful. So when I block a move, I see that my opponent's open, so maybe I come in and I counter where they're open and picture it landing, picture it working. I remember watching something a long time ago, and it was with these ski jumpers where they go down the huge ramp and they jump off and they fly absolutely miles. You know, I have nightmares about falling from those heights. So these guys do it for a sport. But they got like one of the top guys, and maybe he was the world champion. And one of his things was he would visualize really, really clearly the jump going well. And they got people to watch videos, and they found that if you watch successful jumps, or if you watch successful technique in sport, you can then take that and develop your own technique so you'll be sharper. So go and watch people doing it well, but also when you do it, picture it working. Now, something you can do as well is a little bit different. If you want to slow it down and do a completely different type of shadow boxing, you know, you can develop your sense of proprioception, which is your sense of, you know, where your body is in space, where you are in relation to yourself. I could see when you were moving about, and then when you were on your feet nice and light, that was good. But a drill you can do to improve this as well is close your eyes and just slowly do techniques. Don't be throwing those spinning kicks, because you know you're going to give me a heart attack. I worry about you falling over doing that with your eyes closed. But when you get better, yeah, when you improve that balance, when you improve your sense of where you are, and you can go ahead and do that with your eyes closed, and you can work on different drills. I've got lots of friends who do wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and they'll drill with their eyes closed and develop that just sense of touch as well when you're working with an opponent. But on your own, that sense of where you are, that space, is really important, because when you fight, sometimes you can't see very clearly because you've been chinned, you know, or you're getting smothered. If you've got that really good sense of where your body is, I think you've got a better sense of dealing with the situation. Now, finally, echoing what I said before, don't be random, work on set techniques. So if you're doing those 2-minute rounds or 3-minute rounds or short high intensity rounds, work on a set number of techniques. So if you're doing a 2-minute session, you know, 2-minute rounds in your session, say I've got to do so many roundhouse kicks by the end of the round. I've got to do 15 roundhouse kicks. That's the technique I'm working on today. I'm doing 6 rounds. Every round I've got to do so many moves. And as you get fitter, you can challenge yourself by raising that number. So it kind of comes together. If you can get 10 kicks in a round initially, and you're just working your boxing and I've got to kick, got to kick, got to kick. Otherwise, you're doing a little bit of everything and you don't really get good at any of it. You know, the skill in martial arts comes from repetition. And the skill in teaching martial arts comes from hiding that repetition, because everybody doesn't want to do it. Everybody wants to do something different. Everybody wants to train something interesting every week. So you have to make repetition interesting. So those are a few tips that I really think will help you. You know, it's good practical advice that you can work on. And you guys, you know, if you want to send your videos through to me, you can send your details to me over Twitter. You can send me a comment below. Subscribe to the channel and give this video a like and a share if you think it would be useful for other people. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.